And it's Manchester City next for Newcastle United. How can we criticise Rafa Benitez's approach today when, with so many problems, so many changes, they came so close to getting a point here?
What problems?
Well, as you said, he was missing 5 players today.
Yeah, Lascelles, obviously Michel was the heartbeat of the team in midfield, but they've still got other players. They brought in Jacob from Murphy from Norwich for £12 million. I don't know, I don't buy into that. I don't buy into those tactics. I have to be honest. I get it. If you're going to Stamford Bridge or to the Etihad and you're playing against a great side, play that way. By all means, if that's what you've got to do, by hook or by crook to get a result. Not at home. Not at home, play that way. The possession stats are embarrassing.
Shola?
If you're a player in that dressing room now, Newcastle player, you're embarrassed because you feel we've not given our all there. We're much better players than that than what we showed. That's not good enough.
I think it's a hard one because, you know, like you said, they've nearly come away with a point there. Rafa has always played a certain way. We all know that. I think as players, the frustrating thing, I guess, if I'm in that dressing room is you look at the last home game we played, the way we played, against Tottenham, the way we took the game to them, and you've got players in there that can do that, and to then revert back to, I guess, a more defensive shape will be frustrating for some of those players. But you know, at the end of the day, Rafa's a manager. He's a top manager, and he understands that he has limitations in his team. And when he comes up against top sides like Chelsea, who personally I don't think are much better or better team than Tottenham were. But he just felt today that was the right way to go.
Well, interesting. Maurizio Sarri is a man who knows Rafa Benitez very well. He was the man who took over from him at Napoli. What has he made of Rafa's tactics here today? Patrick Davison put the question to him.
Did it surprise you that at home they were so low and so compact?
But I was surprised that Benitez... I have never seen in Italy Benitez with 5 defenders. So at the beginning I was really surprised.
But here he is, Rafa, fighting against the odds. The point we made right at the top today was that Chelsea have signed 34 players who cost more than Newcastle's record signing. Isn't it David against Goliath?
It is. I think Jimmy's point, if they had done that away from home, I think it'd be more acceptable to have 10% of the ball at home. Can be a great experience for the supporters or the players. If you're a player, I think I'd rather lose 3-0 than lose the way we're having a go than lose
but
the
Graham,
way we lost the last game of the ball.
When we go to Bournemouth and Bournemouth lose 3-0 at home, you always say they're too naive.
Yeah,
They've got to take a different
still
approach.
Attempt to play. I think I've done 1 game at Bournemouth, haven't I? That might have been 2 years ago. But I think today's game, it's a manager's prerogative to set his team up and play the way he wants to play. His job is to get the best out of the group of players that he's working with. Rafa thought that was the best way today. I think when you sit that deep, inevitably there's a great deal going to happen in and around your box. You're relying on Lady Luck to be with you that day, because if the ball drops or they end up getting scruffy goals. Chelsea's 2 goals today were 2 scruffy goals. Penalty that we could all have a different opinion about, and an OG. So, you know, to a point, Newcastle, their plan worked perfectly. But the players sitting in that dressing room will feel really sore right now, because I'll come back to it. I think they would have preferred losing the way they did so late in the game to a scruffy goal. I think personally, if I'm a player, I'd rather lose 3-0 having a right goal than trying to win the game.
A little bit like what Wolves did yesterday. It's a good example. Technically, I would say they're a better side.
Newcastle would say Wolves spent £100 million in the summer.
Yeah, but at least they had a go. They have got a more technical ability.
Perhaps it wasn't as much as that.
No, I think you might be talking about Fulham. But I think that Wolves spent money, but they've not gone and done it in an emphatic way. They've just come up, and you could see the crowd, the atmosphere. It was an enjoyable experience to watch it, especially at home. I think here you've got a duty to turn the fans on, to get them going. Exactly.
This is a great place if the team are on the front foot. You know, the way they get behind their support. It is a joy to be here. And that may have happened half a dozen times today in 90 minutes.
We look at the last game of last season. You know, Newcastle were really up for the game. They really took the game to Chelsea, and I think at some point in the game you have to do that. You know, especially when you're soaking up so much pressure. There has to be a release valve, because eventually you're gonna lose a goal, and that's what's happened. Yes, albeit it was a very dubious penalty, But when you have that much pressure, you
If
wait.
you're sitting that deep, that can happen to
Yeah,
you.
definitely. And there's a lot of energy that goes into defending that deep.
And concentration.
And
That's why you lunge
concentration.
in last
yeah,
second,
and that's
exactly.
what's going to happen. And I guess for Rafa, it's finding the balance, right?
They've lost the worst possible way today.
Yeah.
At the very end, having done so well.